Okay, there we go. Thank you, everyone. Well, I figured that out because I did promise that I would record this. So, welcome to Demystifying Unit Mid-Year Reports. I'm going to say that this is from the Department of California, and it sounds weird saying that, but I'm doing that because we do have departments outside of our own that are joining us today. So, welcome to the other departments. We hope that you gain some information from us. You're more than welcome to take this training, tweak it for yourself, whatever. I'll be providing my contact information at the end. My name is Rebecca Glenny. I am the Department Leadership Chairman for this year. And Tracy Varnell Furco is our Department Vice President. She is also here with us tonight, and she will be helping me present. Tracy, did you want to say anything really quickly?
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you all for giving up your time and joining us tonight. Rebecca's got some amazing things for you guys. Some of the things she does is absolutely above and beyond perfect. So, it's going to be a great learning tool for everybody. And I hope everyone walks away with just a little bit more or a little bit less, whichever you want. So have a great night and thank you all for coming, and take it off, Rebecca. Here's to you.
All right, thank you so much, Tracy. I also want to acknowledge, and I'm going to say that I can't see everybody in the participants list, but I do know that we have some California Past Department presidents in our audience this evening. I saw Melanie Taylor. I believe Kathy Martinez is joining us by telephone. Glenda Schultz is also online. I'm not sure if we have others, unless Jennifer can tell me.
Deanne.
Deanne is also there.
Mm-hmm.
Deanne Graham also. You all can blame her for bringing me into the department level. She grabbed me and had me helping her with the website many years ago. And our department president, Susan Baker, is currently in another meeting, but she will be joining us in about 26 minutes. But with that, we'll go ahead and dive in. So let's see here, make sure I can click. Fantastic. If anyone is not seeing my screen, please let me know because I think you are. So tonight's agenda, in the next 55 minutes or so, we did a quick welcome. We're going to go over why reporting matters, understanding the Department of California mid-year report forms, discovering what your resources are when completing these, avoiding some common mistakes, the importance of making your unit shine, and then we'll do some quick wrap up and question and answer. I do ask, I know that since we are a large group, when I looked last, we had over 60 people already signed in. I will ask that if you have questions, try and use the chat feature for typing them in, and we'll try to address them. I will watch that. Jennifer will also keep me in line, as well as Tracy. I'm sure will do the same. And anything that we don't answer while we're presenting, we will try and answer at the Q&A portion at the end. And if something can't be answered, I will be sending out answers via email afterwards, along with the slide deck and a link to the recording. So meeting is being recorded. So with that being said, Tracy, would you like to talk to us about why reporting matters?
Sure. So when we get to reporting, I think a lot of times people's misconception is one, it's too long, too much. And I think that if sometimes we take a different approach, such as maybe, taking notes throughout the year, it makes the end result a lot easier. The reason it's so important to report is because we don't know all the amazing things that are going on with inside the units and districts. And without the reports, we can't report. So it's everything that gets done at the unit, that's where our heart and soul, and that is where all that we make a difference is in our units. Our district and our departments, yes, we also make a difference, but our units are the ones that are out there. They're out there every day in the communities. They're out there every day helping our veterans. They're out there every day helping our juniors, our Girl Staters, everything that they do. If we don't report, we can't make a full impact to help the department make national see what we do. It's so important to need these things because so many, being in the department, just a few years now, it's it's kind of it's really kind of sad when I hear, well, we did this and we did that, but they don't report on it. We want to hear it. We want to know what you're doing because we want to be able to go to national and say, hey, look how amazing California is. If you don't report, it doesn't happen. So I think it's really important that we always take a step back. I have a notebook in my car. I think I know Rebecca and I know Jennifer does as well, because every time I go to a function at a unit level, I make notes of all the stuff that we do so that I can remember. You have your minute notes, but you may not always have those accessible. So when I'm sitting down and doing my end of reports, I have my notes, I can do a supplemental. And without that, we can't make a difference to our national level or even to our communities if we don't know what you're doing here at the unit levels.
All right. And as Tracy mentioned, if it's not reported, it didn't happen, at least for the record books. And as a reminder, this is your brain dump time period. So we have so much going on. If you complete your mid-year reports and write it down, you're already halfway done to finishing your end of year report. So there's a couple other things here on the screen, which I'm sure that you're probably looking through as Tracy was talking. But
And
we'll go.
Rebecca, I'm sorry, but one thing on the mid-year reports, I know that we have other departments on this call, and I
Uh-huh.
know that national doesn't require a mid-year report, but they do require a mid-year summary. So a lot like in California, we do still have our mid-year reports online. We still do make it a requirement because even though there's not a national mid-year report, we still have to give our Western divisions or whatever division you may be a part of a summary of what's going on. We can't give you a summary if we don't know what's going on in the units in the districts. So just to put that out there.
Great point. Thank you so much. All right, so we'll go ahead and move on. Now that we know why reporting matters, now we need to look at the forms, understanding the forms. So for the Department of California, our forms are updated every single year, or they're supposed to be. This year, we really took that to heart, and our chairman also went and looking at the national websites and looking at the program focuses, went and updated their forms. So our department website for the state of California is www.calegionaux.org. And I have a link right here directly to it. And oh, hey, it's finally telling me I can let Tracy be a co-host. So when you get here to our state website, across this very top, you have, I just want to make sure, Tracy or Jennifer, can you tell me that you guys are seeing the website? I want to make sure
Yes.
it is. Thank
Yes, it's there.
Okay, fantastic. So underneath this large red banner, we have this black banner, and in it is this link right here for resources. So you would simply click on resources, and the drop-down menu comes up, and you go to forms. And then when we get to forms, while this is a lot of them, the mid-year report and end-of-year report forms are hiding down here at the very bottom. So we're going to click right here on See Mid-Year Report Forms. And then this lovely pop-up window shows up. Now, as you can see, there are unit forms here on the right-hand side available in Word and PDF, and there on the left-hand side are the district forms. So if a program is listed here, you will definitely want to take a look and see what is being asked. A great way to start this is actually when you start your chairmanship at the beginning of the year, it kind of gives you ideas on what the program is looking for. But again, now is as good as time as any to look because our mid-year reports are coming up due for units on December 1st. So I am going to go back here since you obviously can tell you would click here because in our presentation, I actually have some of them in here. Um,
Also, just a reminder that I know we have other states on this call, so not all states have districts. So
That's right.
um, just reminder that since we do have other states on this call, some other, not all states have districts, some might have regions, areas, different things like that. So you might want to just explain, like, we have units, districts, and departments, and national. That's kind of how the stepping stone works here in California. But the same concept would be the same for any state that you have, depending upon what your progression would be. So I just wanted to put that out there.
I appreciate that, Tracy. You're keeping me on my toes. So
No.
all right. So our forms, we have, as Tracy mentioned, we do have units. Then we have districts to help us manage the communication flow with here within the state of California. And district acts as a liaison between units and the department level. So our mid-year that we do to help us with our communicating up to national for our little mid-year, progress check kind of check-in. That's what our mid-year report forms. Our end of year, of course, are the final results. And our forms are pretty uniform. They're going to include contact information as well as, your unit information. There's going to be questions specific to each program. There are some reports that will ask for some narrative information. If you don't have enough of space, you can always say, see extra paper and continue to write. You're not limited to the amount that's given. And just, be really proud of what you're doing and share it out. And this is not in, oh, there we go, in full form. Okay. So I have three programmed mid-year report forms that are here and I'll go through them. I'm going to just kind of show you that they are uniform. So we have up here in the upper right hand corner, it's going to say, our American Legion Auxiliary Department of California. It's going to tell you that this is the mid-year report form for the 25-26 year. And I really like it. This past year or two, we've also started to incorporate a little note that it says this reporting period covers May 1st, 2025 to November 30th, 2025. So if it happened before May 1st, that should have been reported on last year's information. And if it's something in the future after November 30th, then that's something that would go on your end of year report. And again, I told you that it has some general contact information. That is this area right up here at the top. It's asking for, here again for this California, the district number, the unit number, your name as the unit chairman, your telephone number, and your email. And the reason that we ask of that is because when you forward this on to the next higher level up, and here in the state of California, it's to the district chairman. If they have any questions, they want to be able to reach back out to you and get some clarity. Now, some of the reports have this little block that says no activity reported during this period. And many of our chairmen, including myself, have started to take this off because, especially for a program such as membership, it's really hard for you to say that you haven't done anything with with membership for the year, at least to the halfway point, because you had to have been transmitting people and renewing their membership and things. So what we really want to do is encourage you to read through the questions on our membership one. It looks like we have 7 of them. And down here at the very bottom, it does tell you your due date, which is December 1st. And then another important thing to know is while I did not include page 2 of these particular report forms, page 2 tells you who your district chairman is within the state of California with their contact information. But because we were also recording this, I didn't feel that that was appropriate for me to post and be sharing everybody's addresses and telephone numbers. So looking here at leadership, we have the same things going. We've got the contact, or not, sorry, the contact information. The period for which this report is for is in this upper right hand corner. Again, your general contact information and what unit you're reporting for. And then here for leadership, I have 7 questions for people to ask. And these tie back directly to our program code and to national, saying what we're supposed to be focusing on for leadership. And then when we get to the next one, I just happened to pull up education. Again, you'll see that this form is all in the same format, so it's uniform again. And for education, they're asking things like, did you participate in Give 10 to Education? If so, what was the value of the items? Did your unit donate to the department education program? If so, how much? So a lot of these questions, as you can see, are pretty straightforward. You might be surprised as what they're asking for, and maybe instead of just clicking that no activity reported during the period at the top, take a quick look, and if you can fill in anything on this, it is so much more helpful to the next person receiving the report to have even just little glimpses of things that are going on versus a completely blank form. So, put in there like, haven't done it yet, maybe a great idea, something, let us know that you're looking at these and you're giving your best chance at answering them. So Tracy and I are now going to kind of go over discovering your resources. So you can see there's a lot of different questions that are being asked. Some are financial questions, some are, like, what did you do? So what are some of your resources? Tracy, do you want to share? Oh, Tracy, you're muted.
Sorry. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Okay. We had a question in the chat,
Oh,
just to address to everybody really quick. We will be going over the difference between an end of year report and a supplemental. So we will be covering that towards the, later within the category, but I just want to let you know, we will be going over that for the ones that don't quite know the difference. If
okay.
you have a question, please put it in the chat. I'm going to be reviewing the chat to make sure it's there, and so will Jennifer. She'll also be reviewing the chat. There's going to be a question and answer period towards the end of this session, but just to let you know, I am keeping an eye on it, so is Jennifer. So if Rebecca gets, doing her thing, she may not see it, so we'll
Yeah.
make sure we do that. But
Definitely. Thank you, Tracy, because my screen is the slide. So I
no,
appreciate the
you're
extra eyes in the
perfectly fine.
background.
Like I said, I knew your screen was different, and I know Jennifer's watching it, I'm watching it, so we can make sure we don't forget anybody's question.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Exactly. So discovering your resources, there's a lot of different ways that you can discover your resources. And I'm going to actually put a past department president on the line here because I know some answers. I think minutes, meetings, your reports, your treasury reports. For us, I'm going to talk about my own unit, my unit 741, District 16. Every year before our mid-year and before our end of year, we have a potluck and everyone comes together, they bring a dish, and we all collaborate and talk about things, and we fill out our reports together. We give them to our unit president. She makes sure they get passed on. So there's different ways that you can keep some of your resources, but I would like to hear from Melanie Taylor. Are you out there? Where's Miss
Yes,
Melanie?
Tracy. I'm here, Tracy.
There she is, Melanie Taylor, our past department president. Why don't you give us a little input on some of the knowledge that you have? Because you have a lot more knowledge than we do.
Oh, I don't know about that, but thank you. It's nice to be on, Rebecca. Thank you for doing this. So, you're wanting information, Tracy, on how my unit handles the mid-year reports?
Just
Is
some,
that
we're going to ask a few of the past department presidents, such as yourself, Deanne, maybe Glenda, where are you in the past, where have you come up with resources to come up with these reports? Like, what have your units have done, or what have
sure?
you encouraged when you were a department president on to get these units to report their resources?
Sure, right. On the department website, you will notice that there are member, unit, district, and department reporting forms. You can download those, which we have done in my unit previously, and we currently have a revised version of the member information form that my current unit is using. And the members, they can keep track of their hours, their number of veterans served, the number of children served, the money that they have donated. They can keep track of that on their member information sheet and then turn that into the unit president, who would in turn then gather all that up and do the end of the year unit information sheet, impact sheet, and then send that to the district. And then we know it goes from the district, she collates everything and then sends that to the department. So it's just, it's very easy even if you don't have that member sheet, as you said, Tracy, you have a notebook in your car. When you
Yes,
get
I
in,
do.
write down where you're going, the total of miles that you've traveled, the total hours that you have. There you go. Very good. Thanks, Rebecca.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
She's one
So,
step
I
ahead
mean,
of us every time, I swear.
yeah, this is great. So this is the worksheet, the form that I was just talking about. And it's broken down by month and it's broken down by program. Our veterans and the service for our youth and your community. And you just keep track of that. And it makes it so much easier when you're doing your end of the year reports. Because we at National no longer require a mid-year report. It still comes in handy when you're doing those narratives.
Thank you, Melanie, very much.
You're welcome, Tracy.
And I
Really?
wanted to point out, sorry, Tracy, really quickly, Melanie, I think it's wonderful that your unit is using this because this data not only helps feed our mid-year reports and our end-of-year reports, but this information needs to be shared with the president for her to do, or the unit president, so that they can do their impact reports.
Exactly.
I was just,
Exactly.
So
I
it
was
has
just
a dual purpose.
Yeah, and then, when your unit or your department is applying for a national award, which I hope California will be doing the end of this year, I know you will, then this information is easily and readily available right there. It makes it simple to do that end of year narrative or the numbers impact report.
And so that brings to the next thing. I mean, when we do these types of workshops, we hit on certain words that people are like, well, wait a minute, what was that? So we're going to go back. And is Deanne Graham, are you on here? Deanne? Is she on here tonight?
She is. She'll need to unmute.
I had to unmute.
Okay, there she is.
My
So
mouse was not cooperating.
So Deanne Graham, our past department president, why don't you tell us what an impact report is? Because some of the people don't know what an impact report is that the president is supposed to do because they've never been a unit president.
I want to ask Rebecca if she has one of those available. Because I haven't seen one for quite a while.
They're actually available in a couple different forms or formats, and I have already made a note, pardon me, that to share out where it is found on the national website. So we will get copies of this out to people as well, to every single person who RSVP'd.
Because I will be 100% honest, when I was a unit president, I had an amazing secretary and she did my impact report for me.
I did as well.
I'm just saying, it's like even I could learn something tonight because, like I said, I hear the word impact, but I was a very blessed unit and a very blessed district president because I had an amazing secretary who did this for me. So not that you all would have to do an impact report, but I think it is important going back to keeping track of our hours and what we do and all of the other different things. It is important for that impact report that has to be put onto, that has to go on up. So
Tracy, I do see that we have Glenda Schultz, our another past department president, would like to chime in. Glenda,
I don't see Glenda's happy face. That's how
I see her hand up.
Okay, wait a minute. And you guys don't laugh.
There's her pretty face. Where's her? There
Okay,
she is.
so I think that we probably should explain before I start in. I'll say welcome everybody and thank you so much, Rebecca, for doing all of this for us. It's fantastic work. But a lot of people probably don't know what impact report means. And Melanie, correct me if I'm wrong, but the impact report is the information that goes to national, that goes to the Legion to present in Congress. So,
Yes, you are correct.
so it is important to know what's on that impact report. So those are things that you really want to be looking for to report. And there is a little bit of each program in the impact report.
And there's also a breakdown of where all of these numbers kind of come from for totals later. So over here on the right-hand side. So
And Rebecca, if I could take a personal point of privilege,
yes,
please. There is a mission training coming up the end of January in Las Vegas. And this is one of the topics that we will be discussing is the impact reports, the narrative reports, why it is important to report, whom to report to. And so if you have an opportunity to register for the Las Vegas mission training, please do. There is going to be a wealth of new information shared at the mission trainings this year.
thank you, Melanie. And just for those departments that would be joining, from other areas on the day at I think it's the last January 30th, 31st, something like that is when mission training in Las Vegas is. There are other mission trainings that are occurring for other divisions at the same time. So you're
Yes,
more
that's
than welcome to
correct.
come to Vegas. I mean, you came to this meeting. I'd love to meet you in person. I'll be in Vegas. But if not, there are division levels, different division ones for you all as well.
Rebecca, we do have a question in the chat.
Yes, ma'am.
Chairs submit these volunteer hour worksheets?
Can you repeat that one more time? I'm sorry.
Do chairs submit these volunteer hour worksheets?
So my understanding of impact report forms is that every member should be doing this. And then they would be able to share their information with chairman for their respective programs. But at the end of the year, the members are sharing their personal numbers to the president, or maybe that fabulous, wonderful secretary that others have mentioned that they have had, so that all data can be combined together to accurately represent what the unit is doing.
Yes, that is correct. The members keep track of their hours and they report everything to their unit president. Their unit president collects all that, sends it to the district or county. They in turn collect all from their units in their district or county and send that to the department secretary. The district or county president sends it to the department secretary. And she in turn compiles all of the units in their department and sends that on to national.
Fantastic.
Just remember that the impact report is your work impacting the actions in Congress. your
Exactly.
veterans.
Yeah, because the national organization for the auxiliary, once they receive all of this from the departments, they put it all together, put it in their book of reports that you see at National Convention. And then they also put it in their national report. And then they send it to the National American Legion commander, where he can combine the total Legion family information. And when he addresses Congress, and he can ask the VA to increase the budget for our veterans.
So many times we talk about reporting, but we don't say what our reporting does. And I think if people understand that, it makes them a lot more willing to spend the time to get on paper what they did and send it in.
And going back to, the resources that you have, I think it's very important, because the end result is where we really need to be focusing, because we won't be an organization if we don't report what we do. But once again, trying to keep track of it, remembering it twice a year. I don't know about you, but I have a lot going on in my life. And so I don't always tend to remember things. That's why I keep a notebook with me. That's why I keep little things in my car, because, I just don't. I mean, I get, Friday night dinners. I mean, there's a lot going on, but you have your calendars, you have your agendas, as Rebecca has on here. your member knowledge, your social media events. Look on your Instagram, your Facebooks, whatever social media outlet you have out there, go back and look at your unit, look at the department, look at the districts, just to help you membership. And also, the partnerships within the communities. I mean, sometimes you're going to be in like a city hall meeting, or you're going to be you put it on your phone, put it on your phone, and then refact back to your phone through the calendars.
And as Tracy mentioned, those partnership things, if like you knew you did something, but you couldn't remember the date or maybe how many people attended, if it was a city hall meeting, they have minutes, you could go back and look at theirs, social media, it's a great way, like, oh yeah, I did that on this day, like I don't remember how many, oh, but I could kind of count the heads in a photograph, to do things. So as we've talked, the Tracy was mentioning like her personal agenda or her notebook, her things to write down. Melanie mentioned, I think it was Melanie, mentioned about her unit starts with the impact reports and people are, writing things right down on there. All of these feed into the mid-year reports that, where we're collecting that information, where no matter how small it is, that we are discussing it and, we're jotting it down. So with that, now that we know where our resources can be found and kind of the source and how it funnels up all the way eventually to Congress, there are some common mistakes that we can kind of, fall into. So and I know this is going to kind of touch base a little bit into supplemental writing, which is an additional step above and beyond these simple reporting forms that we have. But remember, there are small narrative portions on our forms. So, just don't say, oh, we held a food drive for somebody. You can elaborate a little bit. Remember, you're not just limited to that one little line. You could say, see extra paper, but, show that impact instead of saying like we hosted a food drive, like we provided 45 families with groceries for a week. We served, you know, we gave Christmas gifts to 5 veterans within the local VA system. We gave 10 backpacks full of school supplies to needy children at our local elementary school. Those kind of details really help the next person in line be able to elaborate and really showcase what it is that you're doing. And another potential thing is you've done an activity, but you're not recording it under the proper program. So I'm going to go back to last year. I was community service, and community service is, there's so many wonderful things that we think of with community service. And we think it ties into so many different programs, but there's a fine line when it's no longer community service and it falls into a different program. An example would be you're getting your community together or your auxiliary members together to write Christmas cards, to a nursing home, right? But now you want to focus on, we just want to do the veterans within the nursing home. Well, that now runs into VA&R. That's no, like, yes, you started off as community service, but that activity would then be under VA&R. If you were doing stuff for your local food bank, that's community service. But if you're doing things for the food bank for a food bank that's located on a military installation, then that's going to fall under national security. So there are times when we can kind of cross post things with programs, and I will let Tracy explain that because I still get it mixed up. And this is where I love where we can tag team because we can complement each other's knowledge. So Tracy?
So I'm so sorry. I got like 10 things going on, but real quick, big shout out to Puerto Rico. They're on our call tonight and it's 10 o'clock their time. So big shout out to Puerto Rico. Thank you for joining us. I just saw that. I was reading the notes and I'm like, wow, this is so yay for Puerto Rico. Thank you for coming on our call. So I'm sorry, now what did you want me to talk about, Rebecca? I'm sorry. I just totally like-
When we have programs, it's okay. When we have programs where they fall into multiple or activities, pardon me, activities that fall into multiple programs, where do we report it? This is a huge question that we hear a lot.
Well, and I could be wrong on this because I tend to get this wrong a lot. I know that we can report on one program in many places, but the money can only go into one location. You know, but what we do is if we need hours in one location, you know, when we do our little meetings, you know, if it's covering multiple programs, we sit and talk and say, well, maybe we need to put that in Americanism. Maybe we need to put that in VANR. You know, but I know that you can report one program in many locations, but the money can only go into one program. And I hope I'm right on that, because I can see all these past department presidents, their little wheels are turning like, is she right? Is she right?
Moment of truth. Is she right?
Please let me know. You know, like I said, I can see all their little wheels turning, but I think for me, you know, it's, you know, I know we in our unit, I can speak about my unit, is like if we need hours in one location compared to the other, we will spread it out to different locations. We try not to, you know, we not try to overstep each the thing. So I hope I'm right on that. I can see Melanie looking at me right now.
You know, we've always been taught, you know, that yes, the programs do overlap, and you can count hours on multiple programs, dollars only on one. But I would like to say that specifically with national security and VANR, our Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, the simple way to determine whether your activity hours, whatever, should go on national security or the VANR end of the year or mid-year reports is national security is active duty military. If they are active duty military, if they are Army National Guard Reserves, that time, money, numbers all go into national security. Anything else that has to do with veterans goes into VANR. So just remember, national security is active duty. VANR is veterans.
And the best part is that you got the VANR chairman on here as well as the national security chairman, because we're both on here tonight. So yay for us. Hi, Jennifer.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. And I also believe we have Glenda Schultz would like to add into this conversation. So I would love to hear her point of view. Glenda, please join us.
Also remember first responders for national security.
Oh, you're right. Correct. Shame on me. I'm a fire chief's wife. I should
I
remember
know.
that. I'm glad Bob can't hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
All right. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See all
you.
this, there's just so much information. We, you know, we have to rely on each other. So, and that's where we don't want you to forget your deadline. That's a huge, not necessarily a mistake, but it doesn't help because you're within the state of California. We mentioned that we have district chairmen and they have to do their next report to send it up to department following it. So if you miss your deadline, you're hampering the work that the next person gets, you know, and has to complete. And if you do, you know, no report, and, you know, if we have, say within my own area, my unit is one of 8 for my district. And if all 8 units say no activity on a report, then when it comes to the next level, then I'm compiling everything. And what am I supposed to report on, you know, moving up? So Tracy, please add to this, and then we can go to the next slide.
So I just want to add on that. I 120% agree that we have deadlines and we should stick to them. I'm not saying we shouldn't, but life gets in the way sometimes. Life absolutely gets in the way. if for some reason something happens and you're going to miss the deadline by a day or two, contact the department chairman. Ask him if it's okay. Ask him if, where you're at, because I would rather have somebody be a day late than not report at all. Because, I mean, sometimes, like I said, you just never know. I mean, majority of us are still working. We're taking care of our parents. We're taking care of our kids. And some of us are going to be new grandparents, like myself and April. I'm so excited. But if you're going to be late, just call the department chairman and ask her and say, hey, I'm going to be late. Now, obviously, she's not going to hold off for a week or 2 weeks that you're able to get back from a cruise. But but call and ask, because I'd rather talk to somebody and say, hey, Tracy, I'm going to be a day late, and still get a report. So, don't throw it out the window. Just call and ask, or send them an email and ask them.
So, and I'm going to just clarify, I think you're saying contact your department chairman when you're the district chairman, but when they're the
Exactly, yeah,
unit
the contact,
chairman, yeah, if
yeah,
you're the
exactly.
unit chairman and you're not going to make your date, a little bit of communication can go a long way. And, and just be honest. I mean, we're all human. So say like, hey, I'm running behind, but I can have it to you in the next 24 hours later.
Yeah,
And
just communicate with your district chairman, and the district chairman can communicate with the department chairman. I would just rather have people do that than not report at all, because I've had people call me and tell me, well, I wasn't going to make the deadline, so I just didn't report. Well, how long were you not going to? I mean, communication is key that we need to just really, talk to and really have out there.
okay. So
Thank
I'm
you.
going to kind of move us along a little bit. Other common mistakes, leaving out some details, or here's another great one, not reporting because you think you didn't do enough. Every single action, every single event that you do is huge. It makes a difference, especially when we compile all of that together. And then this one may seem silly, but make sure you keep a copy for yourself. So because when you save your own copy of what you did, one, you're going to have to share it with some others. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But it's also going to make your end of year submission easier because you already have half of the work done. Okay. So what all this comes down to is making your unit shine. So you're going to send your completed report, this simple yes, no, couple of sentence reports off for mid-year. You're going to send it off to your district chairman. You're also going to send it to your unit president. And part of that is one, unit president wants to know it's done, because any program that is empty falls into their lap. So the president, he or she will need to make sure that the programs all have reports done. So by you stepping up, doing your part, sending it over, it's kind of like they can check it off and go, good, I don't have to worry about that one. Also, just know if you don't turn in a report, you could have the district chairman calling your unit president and saying, hey, I haven't gotten something. And it could be something as simple as maybe you mistyped the district chairman's email, and the unit president's like, really? I have an email. Oh, here, I'll just forward it on to you. And it, no harm, no foul. Also you make your unit shine by, submitting before the deadline. But as Tracy said, if life happens, contact that next chairman, talk to them, and, give them a heads up and ask for a little bit of forgiveness, a little bit of grace. You might be surprised that, they can be flexible and help. But we need your information. And then again, stay organized, keep a copy for yourself. And as everyone has already, reiterated through all of this, your report is going to help your units, your districts, your counties, your all of the different levels that our different departments have, and even your state, your department, just shine brighter. And, having all of this information makes it easier to complete those impact forms that we talked about. And then we even have, more going forward to Congress to justify, how important we are in serving our veterans and our community. So. All right. So with that, once you have your, Tracy, do you want to add anything? I see your camera going back and forth.
Sorry, no, I'm good. I was just reading through the questions here, so I'm just trying to make sure we don't miss anything. So,
We're almost to the questions. I do want to ask before we go, has Madam President been able to pop in yet?
yes, she is on.
Awesome. Madam President, Susan Baker, would you like to share a few quick words?
Hi, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late here. I had another Zoom that I had to attend to first. I like your graphics here. They look really good. And of course you two are you're spot on anyway. So I can't add anything to what you're telling people. You're doing a great job.
Thank
Pay
you.
pay attention to this, all of you chairmen out there, because it's like a roadmap and it's really easy to follow. So hang in and
And the
let's look at
roadmap,
those reports.
right. And Madam President, we already said the roadmap will be shared with everybody afterwards. So we are making this readily accessible, including even the recording of this meeting. So people can listen to it even afterwards.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, so we've got our units all shined and spiffy, and everyone is energized with what to do. I do want to give a next step really quickly. So district chairman, your turn is coming up next on Tuesday, November 18th. We will be doing putting all these pieces together, the district mid-year report training. And so that is the next step in this lovely roadmap, as Madam President mentioned. But just so you know, this flyer will be sent out to the Department of California district chairman to disseminate. It'll also be put on our department website and on our department Facebook page. So even all of the departments that are visiting us from afar, you as well have the opportunity to sign into this one to see how we take our unit reports and consolidate them into the next level moving up. But that is where now we come to our questions. And any feedback or, things that you would have liked to have seen, or, now you have more knowledge. I don't know that I want to say you can unmute necessarily, because I don't even know how many participants we have. I know at one point we had over 60.
We have 67.
Okay. So, but we can definitely use the raise the hand or the chat feature. We have roughly 10 minutes left for questions.
So we did have a question and I got it wrong. Melanie asked the question regarding CPR. What category would CPR fall under?
CPR, if I remember correctly, falls under community service.
I thought it was national security, but I guess you are right. It's community service. So see, I learned something tonight. I don't know why, when I did national security, I thought that it was under that, but Jennifer, is it under your chairmanship?
It is not. I would think the question was asked if it was given at our post for vets and their families.
Oh,
I would at that point assume that it would go under VA and community service.
Perfect.
You're correct, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
and
See?
and if you had active duty
Right.
or first responders even there, or their family members, then that could also go
Under national security.
security.
So once again, that just shows you how one event can cross over to so many different programs.
Exactly.
So that's the one thing about these types of things, is that one event can go to so many different programs depending upon who's attending the event. So
And I could even add in that if while you had it, somebody talked to you about what the post does and how do they become a member, now you've fallen into membership. So
Exactly.
yeah.
So reading through the chat, I am seeing a confusion on who should submit the reports. So again, it should start at the unit level. The unit then reports to the district. The district then reports to department. Department will then report to national.
Yes.
Correct.
Unit members are sharing their information with their unit chairman of that program so that the unit chairman does the report, sends it to district, district compiles everything, sends it to department, and then department compiles all of our districts, which in California, we have numbers 1 through 30, but I think we only have 28, 27?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. But still, it's compiling and synthesizing everything down.
But if you're coming from other departments, you need to follow the progression of your own department, because some departments only have units that go right to department. They don't have a district or an area or a region. So if you're in another department besides California, such as Puerto Rico or Virginia, I saw we had a couple people on here, then you need to follow that progress in your department.
Right. Thank you, Tracy, for saying that. You're absolutely correct. And Rebecca, this is Melanie again. If I could just say one final thing. I know people are concerned that they don't know where to put their information. Bottom line is put it somewhere so that it can be recorded. It'll work out in the end. But by not reporting it, then you're only hurting our veterans, our military, and our children.
And
making making our organization as a whole look weak, and we are not.
And Melanie, I'm going to piggyback on that because as a district level chairman, I have received sometimes a unit report that I was like, no, this actually should go over someplace else. And,
Mhm.
you know, I've done two things. One, I've either reached back out to the unit and said, oh my gosh, this is really great. Did you put it on this report? Because that's where it should go. Right.
Right.
Or two, and by the way, I have actually even redone a report, reached out to the chairman and said, I'm so sorry, I had more to add. Like, I hope it's not too late, type of thing, because I really wanted to share. But then the second side of that is as a district chairman, if I get information that doesn't go to my program, I want to share it with that other chairman and pass it over at that point.
Absolutely.
So
I have done that many times myself. So
all right, so it looks like we have some people with hands up. I think the first one is going to be Judith Sardi from District 2.
Right. Well, I put it in the chat, but my question is, you mentioned the dates of May 1st through November 30th for the mid-year report.
Uh-huh.
So in the past, I was always told that we were to project what we were going to do through June 1st. So our POPI information always went on our mid-year report, even though we aren't giving out POPIs or sending letters or anything till the month of May. So is that something new or what's
So
happening?
I personally would say that Poppies is its own little beast because you have your Poppy financial report that's completely separate of this.
Okay.
At least for your more straightforward, reports, not the special ones. Um,
Right.
it's our end of year reports end on October 30th. Or not, sorry, October 30th, April. That's
Right.
April.
April 3rd.
Thank you, April 30th. And that's, I think, why these forms say that the next reporting period is the May 1st to like November, type of thing. And I'm thinking Tracy has something to add because she has her hand up.
Actually, I don't have something to add on that one. I just always
Oh.
think Poppies is its own little entity. They're always that one exception to the rule because they kind of fall in a different time frame per se than what our normals for our other chairmen are. So I would just be sure that you're just watching the website and looking at the dates that, is the requirement that's in the Poppy code. It's been many years since I've done Poppies, so I don't want to speak too much on that, but Poppies is the one exception to our rules because of the way that their dates fall.
Okay, so I guess I'm sorry, Tracy. So my question still is, if we're going to write a Poppy letter and send it out, and we're going to hand out Poppies in the month of May, are we going to put it on the end of the year report now? Or are we going to wait all the way till next year to do that? Like my last year's Poppies is on the end of the year report because I thought I projected through June. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
General-
Even though it ends on April 30th, I put it under VANR through June.
So Glenda has her hand up and she is one of our past department presidents. So I'm hoping that she is going to
Can
chime in
answer?
on this.
Okay.
And Glenda is muted. So
Sorry about that.
yours.
Judy, it's as long as it's reported, that's the important thing. I mean, even if it's off a month or so. Does that make sense? If you've always been doing it one way and that worked out for you,
Okay.
then just report it. I mean,
Okay.
sometimes we get too hung up on little details of things like that. We just want to
Thank
be
you.
sure we report everything. We don't care what time, I mean, we do care what time frame it's in, but as close as you can get it.
Okay. Thank you.
The next thing that I saw, somebody asked who the impact report is sent to. I wish that Liz was on here because there is a little bit of the impact report on each mid-year report and end of the year report.
Mhm.
And Liz takes, and for those of you that don't know Liz, she's our department secretary. She takes that off and does the report to national.
So as far as I know, in general, members do their impact report forms. They give it to their unit president.
Right.
Unit presidents send it to district presidents. District presidents compile and then send it up to Liz. But
Right.
that again is for the state of California because that's our reporting structure. Tracy, your hand is up. Did you have something? to add
Can
to
I
that?
add one thing before you
sure.
go, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Someone asked, what's the difference between a report and a supplemental?
That's what I was gonna bring up right now.
Okay, sorry, Tracy, I'll be quiet.
You're fine. I was just two things I wanted to bring up really quick is one, I didn't want to forget about the supplemental because that was brought up. But the other thing I just wanted to bring up about the reporting is that please, 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 please encourage your members not to mark the box no activity. I hate that box because you have to have activity. I mean, even if you read through it and you really don't, just answer the questions because then we know you've read the report. When I was department membership, I actually had a district that sent me a report that said no activity, but they were 100% in their membership. So that can't be. So please, when you go back to your units or your districts, please make sure that people are reading the report. It's so easy just to mark the box, send it in, now we're compliant. I took it off my unit reports because I want people to read the reports. But like I said, it's just so important. And then the other thing was I wanted to make sure that we talked about supplementals, which I'm not going to talk about, but Rebecca, you can find somebody to talk about them.
Sure. So supplementals. So essentially we'll go to the definition. Supplemental is in addition to the report. So with a supplemental, it's not something that we do at mid-year. If you would like to practice doing a supplemental, me as a district chairman, I would love to receive more than just what is on the form. But basically it's taking those narrative portions of your the questions and really elaborating it, starting to tell the bigger story of what was going on. And I know I'm gonna regret saying this, but more than likely, there probably will be a supplemental report writing training for the second half of this year because that's more into the... Tracy, are you coming on to chastise me for putting more on my plate?
No way, it's all you, boo. You do you on that.
I know I do.
I am.
So,
I'll be honest. I love to write supplementals. I'm just not that great at them, but I love to do them. But
yeah.
my grammar needs a lot of help. Just letting you know.
So honestly, I won't say their name, but they know who they are. They're here on this call. They are one of my mentors. They are within my district. We ride a lot around up and down the state. When I was a very brand new chairman writing my very first end of year report, and I was told I needed to do a supplemental, she was very kind and told me basically take your supplement or take your report and go through it line by line and make a story out of it. So like where you start with district, something, unit something, your name, but you're not using your name. You'd use like this chairman or this unit. It was like make it a story so that they understood. So I'm District 28, Unit 694. So it would start off something like Monterey Cypress, Unit 694 is part of District 28, which is located in the tremendous, area of the Monterey, San Benito, and Santa Cruz counties. We are a small military community, with the former Fort Ord. And what it does is it starts to tell a story. And then maybe I was answering questions about education, like within our area, the first question might be like, did we promote scholarships? And so literally you're saying, like, well, we promoted scholarships by, working with our local schools and participating in National Night Out where we, spoke with over 50 different families and we're able to, engage with X amount of of students and so you're literally just taking those questions and starting to write a story. That is a very basic, simple way to do a supplemental report. But again, I want to be super mindful of the time because we just crossed over that 1 hour mark. There will be, I will say it, I'll commit to you all, there will be a training for supplemental writing, and we'll repeat this again, this type of training for end of year as well.
And I
So-
think, Rebecca, too, on that note, we have a lot of chairmen within our department that have written supplementals and that have got award-winning nationals. So maybe if we reach out to them and we can get some examples of what they do, because everyone always asks the questions, how do you write a supplemental? What do you do? And I think maybe if you reach out to the ones that have won national, Western Division or even national awards, so maybe we could have some samples, when you do that training.
Yes.
When you do that training.
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
I'm going to do one more slide here. Let's see. Oh, I got to click on the right screen so it'll move over. There we go. So if you have any questions after today, questions specifically about completing or submitting your unit mid-year report for a particular program, your point of contact is the district chairman. Remember, they are listed on page 2 of your form, so you have their contact information. But for those program specific, questions, what they're needing on the form, what they're looking for, they are going to be your best resource. And then if you have any questions, about potential leadership trainings within your own area, workshops, future topics you would like to see, please reach out to me. My email is listed there at leadership@calegionaux.org. So that is tonight's training. Thank you so much for attending. Tracy, anything to add before we take off?
No, I think it was an amazing training. You did an amazing job. Thank you for all the participation from our past department presidents. Madam Department President, thank you, Susan, for joining us tonight. Rebecca is lining up leadership classes within districts, so give her a hit out. I'm sure she'll love to come and visit you. I will try to come if I'm down the south. But it was an amazing presentation, Rebecca. You did an amazing job.
Thank you. And slide deck will be being sent out as well as a link to the recording so that even if you have people that were not able to attend tonight, they would still be able to listen in. So thank you everyone for coming. Our departments throughout the United States, thank you for coming. Puerto Rico, you guys are fabulous for sticking with us. It's now probably close to 11 o'clock at night. So we wish you very sweet dreams and get some good rest. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Great
you.
job, Rebecca, Tracy, and Jennifer. Excellent, excellent.
I have one person raised her hand. Marilyn, go ahead, hun.
No, I was just saying goodbye.
Oh, okay.
Although I did find the worksheet on that the website. So it's something that seems like you have to do it, the volunteer hours on the computer, is that it?
There
couldn't print
is
it.
an online version for submitting, I think, to national, but I have a PDF and an Excel version. So I will be sending that out to so you got the email for the confirmation for the Zoom link. I will be sending out all of these resources again afterwards.
Great, thank you so much.
You're
Thank
very
you from
welcome.
Unit 277, Placentia, California. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you,
everybody.
ladies.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Good night.
Thank you.
Everybody, thank you.
Oh, and I forgot to tell everybody, report this on your leadership reports. All right. Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.